Came home one afternoon and my entire family was gone. Not just gone, erased. No furniture, no clothes, no note, except 5 words on the kitchen counter. You'll figure it out. I was 17 years old, and that was the last thing my family ever said to me for 12 years. Let me take you back, because this story doesn't start at 17. It starts much earlier. When I was 13, I baked my mom a birthday cake completely by myself, measured every ingredient, stayed up late decorating it. She looked at it, wrinkled her nose, and said, "It's clumpy." That was it. No thank you, no hug, just clumpy. At 15, I spent weeks tutoring my brother Michael through his finals. Every evening, sitting beside him, explaining concepts, quizzing him, he passed. And his way of saying thank you, calling me a know-it-all, and slamming his bedroom door in my face. At 16, I handed my entire paycheck to my dad because he said we needed help covering bills. Every single dollar I'd earned. Months later, when I brought it up during an argument, he looked me dead in the eyes and called me useless. I want you to really sit with that. Useless. I was always useful to them. I just was never loved by them. And there's a difference, a devastating, soul-crushing difference between being needed and being loved. So when I came home that day at 17 and found an empty house, part of me wasn't even shocked. I think somewhere deep down I'd always known this was coming. I just didn't expect them to actually do it. I found out the full truth a week later from our landlord. My parents had canceled the lease early. I had 7 days to get out, 7 days to figure out my entire life at 17 years old. The first 3 nights, I stayed at a friend's house, but I couldn't keep imposing. So I did something that still feels unreal when I say it out loud. I rented a storage unit with the last of my savings, and I lived in it. I snuck into the YMCA to shower. I ate peanut butter straight from the jar, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because it was cheap and filling, and I couldn't afford anything else. I walked to the library every single day to use the free computers and apply for jobs with a smile on my face, pretending everything was absolutely fine. And here's what nobody tells you about survival mode. It's exhausting in a way that sleep can't fix. You're not just tired in your body, you're tired in your soul. But then, a small miracle. A diner hired me for the night shift. The manager was tough, no nonsense, but she was fair. She paid me cash under the table while I sorted out my ID situation. And one night, when I nearly collapsed from exhaustion mid-shift, she quietly told me to go nap in the break room. She didn't make a big deal of it. She just let me rest. I still think about her sometimes. She'll never know what that meant. I bought a prepaid phone. I saved every receipt. I watched free YouTube tutorials on finance, on goal setting, on building a business from nothing. I was a teenager living in a storage unit, planning a future that felt completely impossible. But I kept going, because what was the alternative? The turning point came when a regular customer at the diner offered me a temp job organizing office files. It paid 3 times my server wage. I said yes before he finished the sentence. That job led to another and another. I showed up early every single time. I asked every question I could think of. I learned faster than anyone expected me to. By 22, I was freelancing full-time. By 25, I launched my own consulting business. Just me, a folding table, and a laptop I'd borrowed from a friend. By 27, I had 5 contractors working under me, my own actual office, and clients that I used to dream about working with. And at 29, I became a millionaire. Not influencer millionaire. Not I look rich on Instagram millionaire. I mean real, actual, no debt, paid-off apartment, retirement account, health insurance I could genuinely afford. Millionaire. The first time I opened my banking app and saw 7 figures, I sat on my bathroom floor and cried for 20 minutes straight. Throughout all of this, every single difficult year, every breakthrough, every sleepless night, my family never reached out. Not once, not a text, not an email, not a birthday message, nothing. Then I did a podcast interview about surviving family estrangement, and it blew up. 1 million views in 4 days. My inbox was flooded with messages from strangers telling me I'd put words to pain they'd carried for years. And then 2 emails arrived. The first had a subject line that made my stomach flip. "You're still our daughter." My mom, no apology. Just a paragraph suggesting maybe we could talk. The second was from Michael. "We miss you. Can we fix this?" I stared at my screen for a long, long time. Then I closed the laptop. My therapist, Melissa, told me to give it at least a week before responsibility for what they'd done. His response? "You're being selfish with your success." Every guilt button they'd installed in me as a child went off at once. I didn't respond. I booked a trip to Bali instead, but they escalated. My dad drove 8 hours to my city uninvited. They showed up at my building, then at my door, pounding, calling my name through the walls while I sat on the floor shaking with my back against it. Then my mom collapsed in my lobby, chest pains. An ambulance came, and at the airport, Michael called me crying, saying it was a heart attack, saying it was my fault. I called Melissa from the gate. She said firmly, "You are not responsible for your mother's health. Get on that plane." I did. And then, the twist I didn't see coming. My sister-in-law Jenny showed up at my door with her toddler, alone. She looked me in the eyes and said, "Your parents have been telling everyone for years that you abandoned the family, that you were unstable, that you stole money before you disappeared. They built an entire lie to cover what they did to you." She showed me the Facebook posts, the fake appeals for a missing, troubled daughter. Years of carefully crafted fiction. And just like that, the last piece clicked into place. I'm not going to tell you I figured everything out. I haven't. I still go to therapy. I still have days where that 17-year-old girl shows up and just wants someone to love her. But I know this now. Survival isn't just about making money or building a business. It's about refusing to let people who broke you define who you become. They left me behind thinking I was the strong one. They were right, just not in the way they meant. If this story hit something in you, if you've ever been the one left behind, the one who had to figure it out alone, the one who kept going anyway, then you already know you belong here. Subscribe to this channel, not for me, for the version of you that needs to hear every single week that you are not too much, you are not the problem, and you are absolutely going to make it. I'll see you in the next one.